Well, hello, and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and ITY TV interview. I'm joined today by Mike Clark. He is a corporate fellow at AMD and a Zen architect, and we're at the pre-briefing. The big keynote is on tomorrow, which I definitely recommend you watch. But Mike, we just had a really great technical, really in-depth presentation from you. A lot of it is, I'm not that technical. I can see a lot of the guys in the room here are super technical. But there were a number of really, obvious points that were going to be very exciting for the market. But in more technical terms than we just heard from with Dylan Larson, who's the Director of Marketing, what did we see here today?
Well, I mean, I'm the core guy, so you saw a lot about what the SoC can deliver, but my expertise is the core, so I'll just kind of focus there. I mean, I think the high points would be that 14% IPC improvement, meaning same clock speed, same core, we're actually being able to get 14% more work done per cycle. And of course that varies per workload, but that's a pretty significant increase in a generation. I think our AVX 512 story we really like, because even though we provide the same throughput theoretically on paper from our previous generation, both the ISA enhancements and our implementation of that have led to a much more improvement, power efficient implementation, so that if you switch and even leverage at the ISA one instruction versus two, that all delivers to more performance to the user for switching to the instruction set. There's no frequency impact. In fact, you can run it at a higher frequency. So there's no downside to choosing to use the new instructions, which is great.
And in many instances, we saw 100% plus improvement, which is rare between generation to generation. You normally need to skip several generations before you start seeing some real differences. So that must have been a lot of hard work to achieve, but also because of the foundations that you laid over the past few years with Zen. But I mean, how did you manage to get such a big jump?
Well, I think when you get out into the more SoC part, I think the Zen 3 design was a very strong base to then build on. And so, but kind of in the DDR4 time, it didn't have all the bandwidth to let it breathe. So in combination of, moving to 5 nanometer, getting those extra transistors, putting that IPC improvement, and then bringing in the DDR5 bandwidth to feed all those cores, it's led to some of those amazing numbers you've seen, and being able to get all those same cores, the energy efficiency, into that same power domain, and be able to deliver the total throughput while still keeping latencies really low, because latency, throughput always are diametrically opposed, but we're trying to push on both dimensions. So
now we're here in the pre-brief session before the whole world gets to see the keynote, and you must have had a few partners, maybe some data centers, or a bunch of your hardware partners that know what's coming. But it would be fair to say that we're in the eye of the storm, or the calm before the storm. The rest of the world doesn't yet know how spectacular this is going to be. So you're expecting some jaw drops tomorrow and some pretty blown away people, and potentially even competitors, right?
Well, I definitely hope so. I mean, it's kind of funny in that me as a core architect and the team been working on this a long time, and in fact,
you already know what's coming in the future.
Myself working on, I have to always kind of do a quick review so that I don't accidentally think about something we're doing in the future when talking about the current product we're putting out. But it's such a cool moment to be able to represent all that hard work of the team and be able to the world to see what that team is capable of delivering. So it's really exciting.
And in the modern world, the ability to upgrade and refresh and rip and replace, and right. It has never been easier, despite the war and logistic problems and things in China being shut down because of COVID. But if anyone's ever going to have a major, if we're ever going to have a major AMD upgrade super cycle, it's going to be now, right?
I don't know. I can comment on the super cycle. I'm just. We just tend to look, I like the graph he said of performance going up over time. We know there's an insatiable desire for compute, and we're just trying to feed that by being as innovative and creative each generation. In times past, people have said, we're running out of this, we're running out of that. I don't see us running out of anything soon. our guys are smart, creative, innovative. We got lots of stuff coming even after this. So this is a great moment, but there's more to come too.
Now, for those who are really technically inclined watching this and enjoying seeing you, what's a couple of really cool, geeky, technical things that are going to really excite those people that are watching?
About Zen 4?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean, just I think the new platform, like you said, really letting that amount of cores breathe, really seeing in, like you said, the economic headwinds of energy costs, and it's actually energy efficient.
They're going to want to upgrade. They're going to want to come run to you.
I mean, it's just crazy that, being able to reduce the amount of servers you need for the same computer, getting so much more compute done.
With the same energy costs you already got, yeah.
It's just, it's mind-boggling, really, when you look at it. And, it's kind of, for someone who kind of is just, you don't realize how much of an impact when you're building the product it's going to make. When your head's down, designing these features, working days, nights to get these things out, to see the kind of impact that you didn't even realize it was going to have, it's just incredible.
Well, Arthur C. Clarke would have loved you because he had his famous saying that says any technology that's sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable from magic. So that's what you've been working on all this time, and in secret, but the secret's about to come out. Okay. Any final messages for everybody watching?
I would just say, people may think it's magic, but there's a lot of hard work there, and it's exciting work. I feel like there's a lot of other let's say sexier things also going on, AI, ML, but hardcore core compute is obviously I really love it. There's a lot still to go, and I want to encourage that next generation. If you love this stuff, start studying and get involved. Get your hands dirty. It's fun.
And as I always like to say, watch the keynotes. Well, Mike Clark, Corporate Fellow and Zen Architect at AMD, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck with this super cycle.
Well, thank you, Alex.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.